Hi everyone, it's Jay from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today. We're independent Stampin' Up demonstrators based in the UK. So every current Stampin' Up products that you see me use today, you can purchase from our online shop if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. So today I'll be sharing a pop-up card with the Sailing Home stamp set and the smooth sailing dies. I'll also be using the Come Sail Away Designer Series paper, which are these, and I pre-cut them to size already to keep the video as short as I can. So here we have a Whisper White thick card base measuring at 8 inches and 5.5 height. Okay, I've also cut for the panel at the front. I've cut two that is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So two of those. For the inside, you'll have the same two pieces, the same sizes as that. So 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, those are the DSP. And for the mechanism, I've cut these. So you'll need four for the pop-ups. So two, no, two 2.5 by half an inch. Yeah, one is 3 inch by half an inch, and one 2/5/8 of an inch by half an inch. For the belly band is 8 1/4 by an inch. That is the size, the width of an A4. So if you're in the US, you can do 8.5. So that will give you a bit longer to play with the belly band. And that is Night of Navy. This one is Balmy Blue, which I punch for with the 2-inch circular punch. So that's going to be for the topper outside. And this one was die cut in crumb cake. Yeah, crumb cake with the dies. And for the pop-up elements, the lighthouse I stamped in Memento, colored in Poppy Parade Light and Sahara Sand or crumb cake light. The bigger boat, I guess. Light Balmy Blue, light Night of Navy, and light Poppy Parade. The smaller one I did dark Night of Navy, dark Balmy Blue, and dark Poppy Parade. And then I've pre-cut 3 Balmy Blue, and I've highlighted some shapes or outlines with chalk marker, and one in Mossy Meadow. Okay, so let's get started. I'll do the base one first, and you'll need the Simply Scored. So I've actually scored a bit already, so I know where to score. So 8 by 5.5 with the longest on top, score at 2 inches and 6 inches. Okay, and that is done. I'll just use a bone folder and then on the other side. So it's a gatefold pop-up card, and it's basically quite a basic pop-up. So it's just using loads of different mechanism, which hopefully you can recreate using different dies. So with these mechanism, it's literally making boxes that pops up. So for the 3" by 1/2 inch, score at, if I can see, I've notched them. So 1/2 inch, 2" and 2.5. So the 2/5/8 of an inch by 1/2 inch. So score at 1/2 inch, 1" 1 5/8, and 2 1/8. For the 2.5 by 1/2, score at 3/4, 1 1/4, and 2 inches. And for the other 2.5 by 1, score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, and 2 inch. So that's all the 4 mechanisms that you'll be using today. Okay. Oh, and before we leave, I tend to score the belly band. So because it's going to be 4" wide, if you do halfway, so 2". And then that will just help us along when we fold the belly band. Okay. So whilst we're here, I'll just go fold and burnish the folds, and I will just make sure that it's nice. This is, I've used thick whisper white as well for these, so you just need a bit of more pressure to make sure that the folds are nice and tight, or flat, I guess. So I'm doing this for the Stamp Review Crew blog hub, where we are showcasing projects using Come Sail Away, Sailing Home even, and you can see more projects on the blog hub. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you have a look on our blog post and follow along the hub. So nearly there. So as always, I haven't actually created the card. I've made a template, but I haven't done a final piece to show you beforehand. There we go. So I'm actually gonna have that there. That one's on top. That one's there. And this one is gonna be there. Okay, so that is done. Put that aside, and then I'm just gonna do that. So that's all the burnishing done. All right, I'll start off with the DSPs. So this one, as I said, was, what was it? 1 3/4 by 5.5. I'm just gonna put that on there. Okay, I'm just gonna get a glue. Right, brand new glue, and with the DSP Design Series paper, it's double-sided, so you could always use different designs, but I thought I'd go for a bit more oldie style. I don't know, vintage, I guess. So I'm just having even border around. There we go. And then the next one. So it's quite nice using DSP for these types because it'll just make it faster, especially with a lot of die cutting and coloring. But you could always just stamp all of the elements and then color in one go and then die cut. That's why I've kind of like colored them like just block coloring. So that's the front done. And I won't actually do the belly band before, because I want to make sure that it'll fit once all of these are done. So once that's done, I'll do the inside bit. So with these, I actually cut it in one go, so all of that is in are connected. So I did 7 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then just cut 1 3/4, and then 3 3/4, and then the leftover pieces on there. And that again is just gonna have a slight border all around. There you go. If you don't have the DSP, you can, with this type of pop-up, you can do some sponging as well, but I thought I'll keep it nice and clean. But you do know I love a bit of sponging myself, but I thought, oh, we have DSP, let's use some DSP. That's always a challenge for me. Right, that is done, or nearly done. There we go. So that's all the panels done. I'll do the topper first. So with Mossy Meadow, I was just gonna do it that way. I've already foam pad dimensional that, so then it's just easier. So what I did was I actually cut tiny pieces and then put that on there. You could always use the chalk marker as well to highlight some areas, so you can just follow the bends of the seaweed, I guess. Like that. Just for additional detail, which doesn't really take long. But I actually did the balmy blue for the waves, so I'll show you how to cut that as well in a second. And you can do some on here as well, maybe before you add the dimensional. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it straight, so I was concentrating. There we go. And then just do the inside bit. Okay. So I'm literally just touching the edge and slightly go over, so it's not covering all of the cardstock. So that's done. Nope, that doesn't make sense. I don't know where I put the lid for that. There we go. So it's just gonna do, here we go. motorbike. Sorry about that. All the time. Right. So with these, you just want to add the glue on on the areas that the mossy meadow is gonna stick to the balmy blue. Sorry, can you see? I've sat down so I can't see the screen. Right. Maybe a bit more there. Right, that should be enough. Okay. That's that. I'll stand up again and then there. That way. I'm gonna leave the center because it's got that hole and I don't want to block that with dimensional. And the sentiment I'll actually stamp because I haven't done that yet. So that's just gonna go there. And the sentiment. And the sentiment I'll stamp in Night of Navy. I did have it somewhere here. And I'm just gonna do that in the congrats. There we go. And I will use that there. So I'll just die cut that now. There you go. So it gives a nice banner effect with the stitchings, and that is just gonna get placed when I've got the. Oh, that's quite nice. I'll keep it straight. When I've got the banner in place, I'll just the belly band even. I'll just put that on there. Okay, so that is ready for next time. I don't know what's happening outside, but loads of motorbikes. So these are gonna be for the waves, and I've already done some of the chalk marker there. So I'll show you how I've got it. So you don't actually need the second part. So with this one, you can just cut off the edge. So that one I'm gonna cut off here. So just follow the die cut. And then there. So I'm basically just snipping the other bits. So that's that one down. So for the longer bit, it's pretty much the same, but I'm keeping that bit there. So I'll just cut that off. So I'm cutting this one the same. And I'm just gonna tidy the edge as well. Right. So that one's gonna be at the bottom, that one's gonna be on the top. So this one I'm gonna put in the middle. So that one I will cut off there. And I'll just get the marker because I haven't done that one. Can you see? So again, if I just zoom in, so literally just go all along. with the chalk marker. Oop, there you go. You can't probably see it that well. So you can go over it again once it's dried if you want a stronger white line, but I'm happy with that. There you go. So that's going to be for my waves. And now for the pop-up part. Okay. Actually, I'll stamp my sentiment inside first. So another whisper white, which I've misplaced. So another thick whisper white. I'm gonna stamp the sentiment, set sail in direction of your dreams, and I'm going to die cut that with the stitch labels. So just double check. Yeah, that should be fine. And I'm gonna use Night of Navy as well. That looks good. Right, I'm just gonna die cut that. Right, there we go. Slightly off center, but that's okay. So yeah, so the dice is really nice. It comes, I'll just zoom out. Too much. It comes with the boats, or kind of like a rope and a tied rope, anchor, the wheel, I guess, I don't know what it's called, the lighthouse, and the stitch topper and sentiment. So for these, you'll need to basically, I've created it so you'll have different heights for the lighthouse as well as the boat. So I've got ruler and pencil just to make it easier. So 2" from the bottom, and just mark. Okay, I can't see our rulers can kaput, so I'll go that way, but that's only 2" because I've counted 3. Okay, so that one we will have the 1/2 inch. No, that's the top. That one and that one. There we go. So the 1/2 inch, the 2.5 by 1/2 inch, you'll put glue on there and then stick that on the left hand side, the left of the fold. Okay, so just make sure it is covered, but not too much. So we are gonna, so that was the 2" from the bottom along the left of the fold. Stick that down, and then what you'll do is for the 1/2 inch tab, add glue, so if you fold that in half there and then fold that down, wait for a couple of seconds, and then that should be, so if you fold that back out and it lifts up, just take your bone folder and reinforce that fold and just make sure it's nice and secure and flat. So that's the first one. Before I add the second one, I'm gonna stick my lighthouse on there. So as you can see, that's not gonna go. You could either fold that up or cut it off. So I'm on my template, I did cut it off, but I might just fold that so it carries onto there. You can see a little bit of the mechanism there. So again, you can use stamping blends. So the light crumb cake, is that light crumb cake? Yeah, it is. The light crumb cake that I use for the land, I'm just gonna color that in. And then that kind of like merges in. That's not bad. And that bit is gonna get hidden off anyway, so I'm just gonna cut that off. So that's why that measures 1 inch. So then that will go there. Okay. And then I'm just gonna add glue. There we go. And how far did I have that along? Oh, and don't forget to glue that as well. So the base of the left, I'll just go all the way down. Let's see if I stick that, would that work? Yeah, that looks alright. Okay. If it overhangs a little bit, just cut it off slightly because we are going to stick the second mechanism on there. That's a bit more than I thought it was. Okay, so the 2/5/8, is that correct? Nope, that's not it. I thought it was that one. So the 2.5 by 1/2 inch, is that focusing? There you go. So you have 3/4 there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually stick that on, and then so you're basically sticking 1/2 inch there only. So don't put glue all the way to the top. What you could do is you can add glue to the bottom base and then add glue there, so you know that it's gonna get stuck properly. So I'm just gonna do that there. Just make sure it moves freely. And then the last tab, just add glue. And then, so pinch that on the second score line. And then, no, wait. How did I do it? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, pinch it whilst it's up and then go down. So as earlier, just get your bone folder. It looks like it's still moving. That's okay. So that one, the big boat is gonna get stuck on, But whilst we're here, you can actually add that on there. So add glue to the top of this. You can double it up, stack it up, so die cut 2 of them if you want a stronger piece, so it's not too flimsy. But for demo purposes, I'm happy with that. Oh yeah, I've actually cut along along the boat as well, just to get rid of the white space a little bit at the bottom. There we go. So that's gonna go there. So with this, just add glue on the top. Sorry, I was just looking whether if it was recording, because the last time I did a video, I paused it, carried on, and it wasn't recording, or the video stopped because I ran out of battery or memory. So when you're sticking down, if you keep that up, because you don't want to go all the way down there, and then take note of where the hole is, so you could always just make sure. I'm just gonna stand up. Okay, and then put a bit of pressure, fold it down, so you can actually, it's there that you need to watch out. So a bit more to the left. You could always go up slightly, a bit more. Okay, maybe quite a bit high. Oh, that's all right. You can always just bend that. Okay, so that is done. Okay, for the next one, we're gonna go on top here. So we have the longer piece. So that's 3" by half an inch. And I'll just measure how far down I went. 3/4. So from the top to 3/4 of an inch. Right there. So that's only 3/4 of an inch. Don't look at my ruler because I use different bits, and I'm actually gonna do it that way. So add glue to the tab, and this time we're sticking it on the right panel, just on the right of the fold. Stick that down. Fold the second, so that's the first and then the second, and then close it. Hold and take down, so it's lifting, but bone fold it. Close that down again. So that piece, we're gonna stick our sentiment on top there. Oh, I actually stamped the birds as well. Okay, whilst there, we'll do it in blue again. Night of Navy. I'll just stamp the background. So that's gonna go there. So probably there. And there. Okay. So whilst that's drying, we can use the small of that. So that was the dark balmy blue and dark night of navy. We're gonna stick, is it this one? No, it's this one. So the second longest piece, we're gonna stick that along there. At the bottom. And that's gonna float up. So for the last mechanism, this one, you're gonna make a box like that. So what I'll do is I'll stick, how did I do it actually? I think this was a bit the fiddliest bit. Let's see, I'm just trying to think of a better way, but I'll do it the other way. I'm doing it upside down. So where you want it to stick, so just make sure that when it's folded, you don't see the mechanism. There we go. And that is just gonna, right, did you see? So make sure that when you fold it, that fold you can't see, or it doesn't overhang. So once that's done, fold the second, add glue to the last tab, and then that one you're gonna go there. So you're gonna fold that in. So first, second, fold that in, and then fold that over like that. So it's folding in on itself. And then that will create the box. The box, there you go. So that will freely go like that. And then, so that one is done. Where is the sentiment? There. So we're gonna put the sentiment. So stick some glue just on the top panel. So stop there. And then add that. So make sure that that is all the way in and it hides the mechanism. Ooh, it's wobbly. So as I said earlier, it's quite a basic pop-up, as in like the mechanism are quite basic. It's just, ooh, that went over slightly. So once you know how to create these and where to fold and where to stick, you can create different looks and sceneries. So that one I actually add onto there. So it is floating, but because it's stuck, even though it's not connected to the right panel, it's connected to the topper. So that's how it moves as well. So I've added glue to the top of the sail, just a tiny bit. Added glue there, and then you are just gonna stick that down wherever you want. So I'm gonna, oop, no, not there. So make sure that that is stuck right. I'm going a bit skew if. Okay, so that is gonna go there. Stick that there. Okay, that's gonna go underneath. So when you go down, just make sure it goes down. Okay. So flatten that down, and then stick the top. There you go. Now it's all full of Dumbo. Oh no. Right, I'm just gonna get embossing body. Okay, so it's a bit sticky there. So just take off the stickiness. Yes, so flatten that down, stick that there, and then stick the bottom there. So because the panel is flattened, the left side you should see, and then when you go up, so I'm just gonna curve that down. There you go. And just double check that it doesn't crash into there. If it does, you could always just snip a little bit more off of here. So then it just falls in nicely. And the last bit I actually did in my, I'll actually show you. There, that is in a tiny bit of mechanism, but I thought that's just way too tiny. So I'm just gonna stick that on there in the middle. So that will stay in place. There we go. So just gonna stick that on. Maybe I should have just left the whole thing. Never mind. And that is that. Yeah, so this the tiny bit I was just like, that's way too tiny. But it was quite easy because I started off quite big, and I just the folds are the same, and then I just snipped it down. But this way it's not as fiddly. Okay, so I quite like that, having that as waves. What do you think? Okay, and that is that. So it's a nice, it looks like whatchamacallit, a frame, shadow box frame ish, but it's open. So that is done. We're just gonna finish off with the belly band. So remember, I scored that in 2 inches. And what you're gonna do, because obviously without the pop-up inside, it won't be as height, as tall, as thick. That's it. Gosh, I can't speak. It is nearly late, very late. So there, but I'm gonna flip it side so then I can hide the belly band connection. And so I'm just gonna have a tiny bit of glue there, and then that will hopefully stick down. Right, is that, just making sure that that is stuck down, but then I'm gonna add this anyway as well. So again, you could always stamp the birds as well, which I forgot. I'll see if I can stamp it now. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, that looks alright. That looks quite dark, isn't it? but I promise you that is Knight of Navy. Okay, so I'm gonna have that there. So along the middle, again, just add a bit of glue. And then along the side, so is that gonna be wonky? It looks all right. So I'm gonna have that there. That is quite centralized, isn't it? But that's all right. And I'm just gonna have that there. So with dimensional, mini dimensional, so it's gonna, because that's on mini dimensional as well, that should be the correct height. So I'm just gonna add a couple in the middle. So one in the middle and one there. And then I'm gonna add glue to the, I don't know what they're called. What are they called? That thing. I have no idea. There you go. So then that will just stick onto there. And there you have it, a gatefold pop-up card. So let's have a look. It's quite simple. At the front, you can have it all the way up if you want. With the Mossy Meadow, crumb cake, and the congrats, and a bit of stamping on the DSP. Take it down. Take it down. And then when they open it, it moves. There you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that gatefold pop-up with the Sailing Home stamp set and the, what's that one? And the smooth sailing dies. And at the moment, they come as a bundle, which saves you 10% off from the annual catalog, 2019 to 2020. So you save 10% off on those two together. And as I said earlier, all the current products that you see me use today, you can purchase from an online shop. Links will be down below. If you enjoyed this gatefold pop-up card, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share our video. We would really appreciate your support. And yes, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, bye!